Everyone in the world was and kind of still is fighting over The Last of Us 2. All throughout last year, and here I am doing the original game. I suppose I should start off by saying that it's fitting while The Last of Us effectively closed the PlayStation 3, its sequel would close out the PlayStation 4. I guess Last of Us Part 3 will close out the PlayStation 5 in 6 years. God, I'll be almost 40 then. After Uncharted 5, we swear to God, we're not kidding, this is really the end comes out. But I kid. When The Last of Us came out in 2013, the PlayStation 3 was on its last legs, and Sony was preparing to unveil the PlayStation 4. Naughty Dog had just wrapped up the Uncharted trilogy, and so they decided to branch out into the survival horror. A post-apocalypse world. I've been living in the apocalypse for about a year or so, gotta tell you, it's overrated. But The Last of Us really struck a chord with people, and now it's time to look back on it. It feels different now that the sequel is out, let me tell you. I did play it shortly after recording this game, but everything about it was pretty much spoiled for me when the game infamously leaked. But this is not about The Last of Us Part 2, this is about the original game. After the game was released, Joel and Ellie became an iconic duo. I remember seeing a Twitter thread saying, "Name a more iconic video game duo than these two." Yes, I can name a few. Mario and Luigi, Sonic and Tails, and even Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong. But that should tell you just how well their dynamic was received. People fell in love with the game, and I did too. It didn't change my life, which a lot of other people claim, but it was a really good game. Now, I don't have the answers to the question as to whether video games are art, and it's not a subject I particularly care about. Games can do something that movies can't with their stories, and that's be interactive with the player. I say that as Warner Bros. Has released an interactive Batman Death in the Valley movie. Wonder how that works. Naughty Dog was going to make another Jak and Daxter game, a series I've never played, but they didn't have any passion for it, so thus The Last of Us was born. Neil Druckmann and Bruce Straley were the creative directors for the project. I find that very noteworthy. Creating a product people love is always a collaborative effort, because then when said creator gets full control to do what they always wanted, the end result isn't always pretty, a lesson we have learned far too many times. Anyway, spoilers for the entire game going forward here, so I recommend you play this game before watching this video. Let's cover our story and characters first. Our tale begins in 2013. A young girl named Sarah is watching TV when her father Joel comes home. Joel works as a contractor. It's Joel's birthday, so Sarah has gotten him a gift.
Where did you get the money for this?
Drugs. I sell hardcore drugs.
Oh, good. You started helping out with the mortgage then.
Yeah, you wish.
Good thing this isn't Japan, your life would be destroyed. So when Sarah wakes up, she finds the house eerily empty. It turns out that this highly contagious fungal infection that develops people into aggressive and mindless monsters is running loose. Joel and Sarah escape with the help of Joel's brother, Tommy. But as they near the quarantine zone, tragedy ensues.
Oh, no. Sarah. Move your hands, babe. I know, baby, I know. Listen to me. I know this hurts, baby. You're gonna be okay, baby. Stay with me. All right, I'm gonna pick you up. I know, baby. I know it hurts. Come on, baby. Please. I know, baby. I know. Sarah. Baby. Don't do this to me, baby. Don't do this to me, baby. Come on. No. 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 Please. 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 Please don't. Please.
A scene that drove many to tears. 20 years later, Joel works as a smuggler with his partner Tess. On a routine job, the two are assigned to smuggle a 14-year-old girl named Ellie to the radical group known as the Fireflies. There's more to Ellie than appears. What seems to be a simple job turns out to be a worldwide trek across the ruins of America dealing with not only the infected, but the worst that humanity has to offer. Well, let's cover our characters real quick, starting with our protagonist, Joel. Joel's a hardened, shell-shocked survivor. After the death of his daughter, he's become noticeably closed off. He doesn't even like to talk about the past too much, as seen when he rejects having the picture of himself and Sarah later on in the game, or how he refuses to mention Tess's death to Bill. At first, he treats the job to smuggle Ellie across the country with annoyance. But it seems that with Ellie being the one chance to salvage humanity, a chance to do some good, to actually wipe some of the immoral things he's done, Joel's gonna do it. He's very pragmatic, as seen when he tortures a couple of David's men for information and kills them anyway.
Fuck you, man. He told you what you wanted. I ain't telling you shit. That's all right. I believe him. No, wait!
Of course, as the game goes on, Joel starts to open up to Ellie considerably, so we'll get back to him. Ellie is a very special 14-year-old girl. As it turns out, she's been infected for 3 weeks and is seemingly immune to the infection. This pretty much makes Ellie the single most important person in the world, as she is humanity's one chance for a possible vaccine. She's got a huge sense of humor and swears like there's no tomorrow. It's shown that Ellie is desperately looking for some kind of companionship, as everyone close to her is dead.
Being by myself? I'm scared of ending up alone.
Oh boy, that's going to take a darker turn now. After Joel is injured, Ellie has to make sure both of them survive during the harsh winter. So I'm guessing Joel was just in a coma during this time? After dealing with the cannibals and David, who is implied to have tried the raper, and knowing Druckmann this might actually happen in the HBO show, she becomes much more quiet and somber. But what Ellie is meant to represent is hope. Hope that humanity can be salvaged. I have a very special attachment to Ellie because, well, this game came out a few months before my niece was born, who is also named Ellie. The heart of The Last of Us is Joel and Ellie's relationship. At the beginning, they don't care much for each other, and it all comes to a head when Ellie talks about what happened to Sarah, and Joel coldly tells her off.
Everyone I have cared for has either died or left me. Everyone fucking except for you. So don't tell me that I would be safer with someone else, because the truth is I would just be more scared.
You're right. You're not my daughter. And I sure as hell ain't your dad.
But as time goes on, Joel begins to defrost.
Ellie! Stop! Stop!
Fucking touch me!
It's okay. It's me. It's me. It's me. Look. It's me.
He tried to...
Oh, baby girl. It's okay. It's okay.
Joel.
Ultimately, The Last of Us is a story about a man who lost his daughter to tragedy and cut himself off from the world, and slowly begins to regain his humanity through his interactions with Ellie. Tess has a minor role in the story, but an important one. Her original role was going to be very different. She was going to be a major antagonist, pursuing Joel and Ellie across the country, eventually capturing them and tying them to chairs, but Ellie would break free and shoot Tess to save Joel. This was changed because they didn't think a revenge story would make much sense. And also because when she dies, it's basically her death that encourages Joel to do something good for the world.
Guess what? We're shitty people, Joel. It's been that way for a long time.
No, we are survivors.
This is our chance.
It is over, Tess!
Bill is paranoid, likes to talk to himself, and he and Ellie don't get along too well at first, largely because he handcuffs her to a railing.
Who the fuck is this punk and what's she doing here?
I am none of your goddamn business, and we're here because you owe Joel some favors. And you can start by taking these off.
Although I imagine the reason he's lasted so long is because he's so paranoid. He's understandably quite bitter that his partner left him, but he's pretty entertaining to watch. Henry and Sam are two brothers who come across Joel and Ellie. Ellie forms a good friendship with Sam, but there are some fatal flaws. Henry doesn't allow Sam to take anything with him. He's devoted to protecting his younger brother at all costs, but he doesn't do anything to teach him how to defend himself against the infected, or else Joel does let Ellie help. Joel and Henry had a difficult relationship, but the scene where the two sit down and talk about motorcycles really gives some levity and adds humanity to Joel. The conversation between Sam and Ellie is tender, but it takes a tragic turn when Sam is infected.
Sam. Henry. Ellie, stay there. Henry. What have you done? I'm gonna get that gun from you, okay? Oh, okay, easy. This is your fault. This is nobody's fault, Henry. It's all your fault! Henry! Henry, no!
Oh my god.
Joel and Ellie come across Tommy's town, and we learn the two parted on bitter terms.
We just had a bit of a disagreement, that's all.
Ah, here we go. So what was it about?
Tommy saw the world one way, I saw it the other.
And that's why he joined the Fireflies.
Yeah, your friend Marlene promised him hope. That kept him busy for a while, but just like Tommy, he eventually quit that too.
How was it? The last time you saw him?
I believe his last words to me were, I don't ever want to see your goddamn face again.
Jeez.
But Tommy embraces Joel when he sees him. Yet their relationship is still a bit cooled, so to say.
mature from mankind, and you want to play the pissy little brother?
We ain't back in Boston. You lay your hands on me again, it won't end well for you.
But it's nice to see Tommy has managed to marry and start a civilization where people can live away from the infected. Somebody's doing something good. Oh boy, I just jinxed this, didn't I? During the winter segment, the main antagonist becomes David, who is a cannibal and he's very lecherous towards Ellie. Like I said before, I have a strong feeling that in the HBO series, David will successfully rape Ellie. Ugh. That being said, Ellie manages to hold her own and kill David. Giving him his just desserts was really satisfying. Yeah, Joel couldn't be there for her physically, but he can be there for her emotionally when she needed it the most. We'll cover the last segment later because I got some stuff to say about the Fireflies. But the reason why the game resonated so well with people, it wasn't the zombie apocalypse, that was just a setting. Really, The Last of Us was a story about people, and we cared because we liked those people. It really resonated with people. Many people cried at the opening scene where Sarah is killed. It's the story of how a cynical man who lost his daughter to the outbreak finds hope and begins to rediscover his humanity by meeting Ellie. She can't replace the daughter he lost, but she can fill the hole that's been left. The Last of Us was more about its characters. Getting Ellie to the Fireflies was pretty incidental. I definitely prefer characters over plot. I can forgive a weak plot if the characters are interesting. I was playing the remastered version that was released for the PlayStation 4. The remastered version does an amazing job for the visuals. The environments are lush and rich. The ruination of the world adds a lot of characters to the game's setting. This is what the apocalypse would look like. I've been living in it this past year, and all that's happened is people have had to stay home. The world is alive yet decayed at the same time. The character animations and facial animations still hold up today. One particular bit I love is whenever Ellie is idle, she will fix her hair. I love little details like that. The banter between Joel and Ellie during gameplay is delightful.
I'm whistling.
Oh, good. Something else you can drive me crazy with.
Thank you. The game is divided into 4 sections: summer, fall, winter, and spring. Joel is the primary playable character for most of the game, although you do play as Ellie for most of the winter chapter. In The Last of Us, you have to deal with 2 kinds of enemies: normal humans and infected. The Last of Us really does encourage you to use stealth to take out enemies whenever appropriate. Of course, when playing as Joel, your main partner is Ellie. Whenever Joel gets into trouble, Ellie can come to your rescue and help you out. Also, I didn't know she was immune to fire. Seriously, one time she just stood there and tanked a Molotov of fire. Fortunately, when sneaking around, your enemies won't notice Ellie, they will only notice Joel. Sometimes when stealth isn't an option or when you are low on ammo, it's best to fight hand to hand. Joel can physically outfight anybody considering how buff he is. You have melee weapons that you can use that will give you an edge. I find it best to craft them to be stronger. More on that in a minute. Ellie, on the other hand, she uses her knife to stab people. Unlike Joel, she can't physically outfight anyone, which makes sense, she is a 14-year-old girl. When taking down an enemy through stealth, Joel will just do a stranglehold, while Ellie's stealth takedowns tend to be rather noisy, and will most likely get you caught anyway. She's faster than Joel, but weaker. Supplies can be in demand, so you're encouraged to go around and round up whatever you can. Fortunately, Joel will pick up anything. Depending on the right supplies, Joel can craft bombs to throw, medical kits to heal, but you are vulnerable when you are crafting, so you better do it when there's no one around. My favorite thing to craft is a Molotov. Watching your enemy burn alive when you're down to nothing but a Molotov can be immensely satisfying. The weapons range from being useful to not being useful. The least useful weapon I found was the bow, particularly due to how it arches. Also, one thing I found confusing, when you start playing as Ellie, she has a bow of her own, so I assume she took Joel's bow. But when you retake control of Joel, he still has the bow. So did Ellie get an extra one? So now we cover the spring section. It's so bright and peaceful. Joel even mentions that on a day like this he'd be playing guitar. Ellie's much quieter than she usually is, a sign that the encounter with David has left her traumatized. But we get a nice peaceful moment where they see the giraffe.
Don't scare it.
I won't.
What are you doing?
It's all right. Come here. There you go. Hurry up. Come on.
Hey there. So fucking cool.
But of course, when Joel's starting to waver, Ellie's determined to see it through.
What's the other option?
Go back to Tommy's. Just be done with this whole damn thing.
After all we've been through. Everything that I've done.
can't be for nothing.
Oh boy, that's gonna hurt. I really do love the moment where Joel and Ellie just talk about losing everything.
Well, no matter how hard you try, I guess you can't escape your past. Thank you.
Oh god, that just stings even more. So as Joel and Ellie head towards the Fireflies, some shenanigans happens as Joel tries to revive Ellie. We get our first glimpse at the Fireflies, and the guy just knocks Joel out while he's trying to give Ellie oxygen. That's not a good look, at all. Joel wakes up and meets Marlene, who basically tells Joel that in order for them to be able to create a vaccine, they'll have to kill Ellie. Something about it being fused to her spine, and they have to kill her for it to happen. Now, I admit I'm not a doctor, but is that really the only option you people have? Joel is basically told that he has to leave Ellie to die. But here, Joel makes a decision that would define everything.
I said keep walking.
Where's the operating room?
I ain't got time for this. Where?
Top floor, the far end.
Can't say I feel too sorry for him, that guy was an asshat. This is Joel's decision. Is he basically dooming the world to save his little girl? Yes, but do you understand why he's doing what he's doing? Yes. If that was my child, I would probably not let them do it. It was a morally ambiguous decision. The game gives you the choice if you want to go in guns blazing or just sneak around. I try to sneak around as much as possible and only go guns blazing when I don't have an option. Eventually, Joel will make it to the operating room, and you're forced to kill the doctor, who rather stupidly arms himself with a knife. Like, you really think that's gonna work? The game forces you to kill him no matter what. I'm sure he's a completely unimportant character that we'll never see again. It's fitting the first and last time we play as Joel in this game, he's holding his baby girl in his arms. Although I accidentally got caught and strangely the background disappeared. Yeah. Joel takes Ellie into the car, but has to deal with Marlene, who he has to kill anyway because...
Let me go. Please.
You just come after her.
Whatever the case, we now cut back to Joel and Ellie about to head into Jackson to live with Tommy. We began as Joel's little girl, and we end as Joel's little girl.
Swear to me that everything that you said about the Fireflies is true.
I swear.
Okay.
Joel lies to Ellie. Is that morally right? Is this the right thing to do? You understand it, but do you agree with it? Well, that's hard to say. It's implied that Ellie knows that deep down Joel is lying, but is she okay with it? What would become of Joel and Ellie after this? Well, after this, it was up to the fanfiction writers to decide. It's an age-old question. When does a creative property stop belonging to the creators and belong to the fans? People asked that question for years when Star Wars was under George Lucas. Does the same principle apply here? Well, Naughty Dog would eventually give their own answer to that, which is something we'll save for another time. Before I wrap this up, I'll quick talk about the Left Behind DLC. The DLC focuses on 2 time periods. First is when Ellie was with Riley, who she mentioned briefly at the end of the game, and the second is covering how Ellie tended to Joel while he was wounded. I do admit there is a nice contrast. The scenes in the past are Ellie and Riley having fun and bonding together, while the scenes in the present are Ellie trying to avoid hunters and infected while trying to find medicine for Joel. Does Ellie know how to stitch people? Because while I'm no medical expert, I'm not sure that's what Joel needs. I'm trying to figure this out here. Is this the same mall in both periods, or is it a different place? For what it's worth, I do like the scenes between Ellie and Riley.
Hey, wasn't me. Skeleseer said it. Well, Skeleseer can suck my dick.
Yeah, that seems weird for you to say. And one particular instance I liked was being able to make the infected attack the hunters, something I wasn't able to do in the main game. One particular moment I enjoyed was Ellie and Riley pretending to play a video game.
She stands on the edge of the Shadow Temple, an ancient mystical building where they hold the tournaments of the immortals. Your opponent, Black Fang, steps out of the temple.
I want to see the rest of that game. Make it happen. It's even got a fatality from Mortal Kombat. Nice. It's nice to see Ellie is developing her feelings still.
Sorry.
Ah, the kiss that no doubt lumps 1,000 shippers. And porn. Such is the internet, I suppose. Of course, this isn't a happy ending as we get to see how Ellie and Riley get bitten. I'm going to assume that Riley started the turn and Ellie had to put her down. I'm a little surprised that this was the end of the DLC. I would have liked another DLC that showed Joel and Tommy together before they had their falling out. So overall, The Last of Us is very good. It didn't change my life or anything like that, but it was a pretty good game. The gameplay was nothing to write home about, but it worked for what it was. The real reason people loved this game was because people cared about Joel and Ellie, and they loved them. If this had been it for Joel and Ellie, it would have been a fine one-game note. But that's not how the entertainment industry works. When something is so successful, there's gotta be a sequel. I will say this game feels very different now that we know what happens in The Last of Us Part 2, but we'll cover that later.
And a million ways we can die before tomorrow. But we fight for every second we get to spend with each other. Whether it's 2 minutes or 2 days, we don't give that up.
Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please hit that bell, like, and subscribe button. If you want updates, follow me on Twitter, join my Discord, or follow me on Twitch, which are provided in the description below. See you next time.